Guys, I spend way too much money on unhealthy food getting delivered to my house using those apps.
Service fees are crazy.
I know, it's too expensive. But that's where our sponsor comes in, Huel. These are basically no prep time meals where you can still stay healthy on the go or when you have no time.
I've had Huel here in the office for well over a year. It's perfect for when I forget my lunch or just need an extra meal in the middle of the afternoon.
No, yeah, I've been using it as a post-workout meal. It's got 40 grams of protein, so it really helps me recover and get these big muscles.
So if you want to save time, save money, and still eat healthy, you can use our code AngryJoe below for 15% off your first Huel order. Plus, you'll get a free welcome package which has got a t-shirt and the shaker, $40 value. That's code AngryJoe for 15% off at Huel.com/AngryJoe. Having a super busy life should not prevent you from eating healthy. So check out Huel today. Thank you so much to our new sponsors, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. All right, from Netflix's Devil May Cry to the movie theaters, we saw The Amateur, which is a American vigilante action spy thriller film directed by James Hawes and written by Ken Nolan, starring Rami Malek. Very unique-looking guy from that series, Mr. Robot, something like that.
Yeah, he was in the Queen movie. And he was a Bond villain, too.
Yeah, and this is 20th Century Studios, not 20th Century Fox, 20th Century Studios, since Fox isn't really a thing anymore. But this one, so should you go out and see this film in theaters? This one kind of surprised me. I didn't really expect much from it, and I ended up really liking it. I thought maybe a little too long here or there. Maybe you can cut 10, 20 minutes out of it. But overall, I was very invested. I think it's competently shot. It flows really well. You really feel like you're there with the amateur. And as you've seen in the trailer, this is about a nerdy guy in the CIA, very smart, he's very intelligent, but he's not your, fucking John Bernthal, Punisher dude, where he's a secret
he is
agent.
in this movie, though.
Yeah, but his wife is killed, and the man wants revenge. Nobody's doing anything about these people that killed his fucking wife, and he wants revenge. And so he has a certain set of skills. And while it may not be, sniping and shooting and running and gunning and running through the street like Tom Cruise, he does different things and some interesting things. Now, it's a shame that the trailer pretty much spoils like 2 or 3 of them. I'm like, shit, man, I was hoping that you didn't have to spoil so many of them. But even though I knew, some of the situations from the trailer, I still found it satisfying to watch. What did you guys think of The Amateur?
Honestly, I thought this was just an film. It was a little bit too long. I was kind of bored. Some of these things that he was doing just kind of made me laugh, which was bad. I wasn't supposed to be laughing. But
some of them you're supposed to be laughing.
Yeah, this wasn't for me. I was expecting something a little bit cooler. I know this is a little twist on spies. Maybe he was. I guess I kind of wanted him to do more Home Alone stuff, McAllister stuff. Do some more booby traps. Uses like mine or he already he's paint cans.
You're expecting mousetrap stuff.
But that's kind of what he does as well. It's like, look, he's not gonna fight you. He was losing to a girl. He's not very trained with a gun, so he's got to use more techniques, more setups, and I kind of wanted to see more of the setups and more cool kills and stuff like that. But it's just like this I didn't really feel the tension in this. Like, yeah, some of I guess only the beginning was when I was kind of invested. First half I was, but then it kind of dragged on, and I just couldn't get back on, honestly.
I thought it was pretty good. I like thrillers, and so I was expecting something that was a little slow. I needed this to be like 2-3 hours longer or 30 minutes shorter, because I think this would have made an excellent series if they wanted to do like a 6-episode series, and we can easily have broken it up into things. Because there were things they didn't.
Yeah, that could work if you do like a 1 kill per episode.
Yeah, you really flesh it out.
Because
I like the idea of him like setting it up. I want to feel how smart this guy is in some of those things.
Yeah.
And I think the only problem that I had is we get a little bit of it, but especially towards the end, we started stuff just happens, and he's like, "Oh, I did all these things." It's like when you're watching a movie, for me, when I'm watching a movie and then a character just says all of the stuff they had done in the past, the reveal isn't special to me because there was no tension during any of the scenes because I didn't know that we were on a timer. I didn't know any of these other stuff has happened. He's like, haha, I did it. It's like, oh, cool. Well, I wasn't along for that ride. And this is supposed to be the climax of the movie. So I thought it ended a little poorly, but I thought it was a serviceable spy thriller.
Yeah, and hey, there's Lois Lane in this. I asked Alex, I'm like, wait a minute, I think I recognize that girl. This is Rachel Brosnahan, but she's really not in the film enough for me to kind of assess her acting. I don't know. I know she's been in other projects, so I'm very excited to see her as Lois Lane. But here, you really don't have much. She's pretty. Prominent chin is what I noticed. And other than that, she does sort of have a role here that kind of permeates throughout the film. They do these creative shots where, in moments of soft, quiet reflection, he's remembering his wife, and he's almost kind of having these delusions that she's still around, and she's still, her presence is still there. And I agree. The strongest part of the film is the first part where they have a happy life together, and they're silly with each other. I liked that. And then this moment where it's like, you need to come to the office. There's something we need to tell you. I was like, holy shit. So I was going through it with this guy. He's like, no, this is not happening. And I'm like, yeah, it's not happening.
For me, that was the only tension as well, because before he was looking at something he wasn't supposed to. He's like, oh, am I in trouble for this? Then come find out. Yes,
they play around with that stuff. That was the only time I was
like,
the CIA was doing some weird shit, and he came onto it. He's like, this is fucked up. But then his life falls apart, so he kind of forgets about that for a little bit. And there is one scene in particular that really, resonated with me. He gets the suitcase back, and he opens up that suitcase, and that really hit me hard because he's like going through the suitcase, and he sees that she got him a gift, and it's like it's a little puzzle thing because he's a smart guy who loves puzzles. And then when he just buries himself in the suitcase to like smell his wife and her presence, that got to me. So I was like, that's what I like the most about the film is I got behind him 100%.
Yes.
I said, let's fucking go.
That's where
so
I
when
was
he goes
at
to the
too.
office and he's like, here's all the people. I did all this research. Let's go get them. And they're like, yeah, we know. He's like, wait a minute. You guys already know and you're not doing anything about it? Like, I'm like, let's fucking go. And when he says, no, they're like, what do you want? You want us to kill him? And he's like, no, I'm going to kill them. I was with him. So I liked it quite a bit more. And there's some, some spoilers and some wrinklers that help explain why the CIA would even allow this guy who is obviously, tech support rather than James Bond, Pierce Brosnan.
They joke around with that too. It's like, what do you want, an Aston Martin? A jetpack?
Jetpack. I like that. It's good. But I think where, maybe Joe's picking up on is, yeah, I would agree. Although I like the kills and I think the kills are fine, a little more creativity could have gone a long way.
Because like what I was saying,
the fact that we only have 4 of them also kind of hurts it too. But go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Because like I love the setup and everything. I was thinking, okay, now this guy's fucking super smart. He's gonna start planning stuff. Look at the schedule. Do all this. We kind of see it, but then majority of the time it's like, oh, I'm here. The bad guy's like, oh, I'm gonna be here, announcing to everyone. Okay. It just like a lot of it just happens just because we're moving the movie along. It's not because he's planning it. A lot of it, we just.
I liked them all. I think the last 2 are on the weaker side, and because the trailer really featured the pool scene, it kind of ruined that one.
That was kind of like the best one.
Yeah, and I understand. We'll talk about it more in spoilers. But also, this role was originally going to go to Hugh Jackman, but he couldn't do it. That was way back in 2006. And Hugh Jackman, I would probably believe as an actual James Bond spy.
Yeah,
so I think it
somebody
actually
more
works
nerdy.
better.
Yep.
I think it works better with Rami Malek as this nerdy
You
guy. He
needed
puts
something
in
like
a
that,
solid
too.
performance. Lawrence Fishburne is in this, and before the theater plays, they did this Alamo thing where it said, don't talk during the theater, or I'll sick Lawrence Fishburne on you to give you the look. And you're right, Lawrence Fishburne does have a really stern look. But do you guys buy Lawrence Fishburne as, an elite in the field CIA agent?
Retired.
A retired agent, yeah, I believe that, but not an active.
Yeah, they kind of phrase him as like to be super retired, and the only reason they sent him, I think I interpreted the only reason they sent him out there is because a mistake was made, and it's like you have to rectify or.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. But I'm like, man, I wonder how much longer Lawrence can do this particular thing. But yeah, Alex is right. They put enough on it to where it's believable, but it's right there. And that's really the main cast. Other than there's a CIA director.
We have John
Barenthal's in it
He's
for like
barely
five minutes, maybe.
Me too.
His role confused me towards the end. I'm like, that scene was very confusing. We'll talk about it in spoilers. But he's shown as the guy he's the actual spy.
He's the bear. His name in the movie is the bear.
They would have done more with it. They don't. Instead, he gets excited. The nerdy guy gets excited because he comes over to him. He's like, hey, you got lunch plans? He's like, oh, I'm going to get to hang out with this guy. He just wants something from him. He wants him to work on his computer.
Barely see him. I thought he was going to do a lot more.
And then later on, we see him again. I'm like, okay, this is going to get good. We're going to get some fucking Punisher action. Nope. So don't expect, John, Punisher action here because that's not going to happen.
That was a waste.
All right. Well, it's pretty straightforward. So then he goes on a killing spree, and it is called The Amateur. So I really like the first kill or the first situation, whatever you want to call it, where he's kind of bumbling his way through it. And, and then it really shows the after effects of, a normal person, untrained kind of doing this. And I bought his performance. I bought it all. Really enjoyed it. I like the creative second kill. However, the third kill, it simultaneously takes forever for him to get to the third kill, but then the third kill feels rushed. It's weird to me, and I wish there was more of a setup to it, more creativity, like you said. And then finally, in the climactic bit, it just kind of ends. And I'm like, with all of the hoopla that has been created by all this, I expected, more. There's a little bit of loose ends here and there, logic issues and problems where you just have to hand wave it away. Okay, yeah, they're the CIA. They just let people do whatever the fuck they want. But other than that, I actually really enjoyed it, and I would recommend that you go out and see it. Now, there's another film that came out called Warfare. We were invited to a screening, but I was in Scotland, I think, at the time, so we missed it. And I've heard nothing but really good things from people that went to that. So you got two movie choices this week. You probably aren't going to do bad with either of them. I think Amateur is good. I wish I had saw both so I can tell you which one is better for your money, but I thought Amateur was worth it. Let's go to final verdicts.
Unfortunately, I thought this was just an average film. I wanted, like I said before, I wanted more of a setup, him using more of his brain as opposed to just coincidence happening. I was hoping John would be in it more. Lawrence's the performances are great, but for me, it kind of dragged on as well in the second and third act. Kind of took me out. I couldn't get back in. I was very unsatisfied with the ending.
The final one? Yeah.
Yeah, because I'll talk about it more in spoilers. It's like,
let's talk about it in spoilers.
It didn't make sense to me, but I just think it was an okay film. Maybe I would have preferred War. What was the War one?
Warfare.
Warfare. I heard a lot of good things about that one as well.
What'd you give it? Sorry,
5.
I liked it a little better. I think it's pretty good. I was thinking like 6 or 7, and then ultimately I think they kind of rushed through the ending a little bit. So I think I'm gonna go with the 6. I think it's an above average movie. I think it's a serviceable thriller. I think it's a great one to catch on streaming. But if you want to watch a thriller movie in the movie theater, I think this one's pretty good. Yeah, Rami Malek's got an Oscar for a reason. The guy can act. You definitely feel the stuff in the first half of the movie. I like the first the third act of the movie, and I think they just kind of rush it a little bit in the end, and that's kind of what had it drop a little bit. But I don't regret watching it.
Yeah, I am also around 7, 8. I think if you trim the movie up, make it a little tighter, make some of those kills slightly more creative, give us that final satisfying bit, and then maybe a little bit more explanation there as to, the ending, then you would have 9, 10 area. But I'm going to end up at a 7 out of 10. So you did 5, 6, 7. Okay, yeah. 5, 6, 7 on that. 7 out of 10. You'd be safe going to the theater if you like these types of things. Obviously, your vigilante, your revenge, your a little bit of spy thriller in there. I think it's a good blend of them both, with competent director, competent dialogue, good acting, and some action sequences that could have used a little bit more of a dial on it, but still otherwise satisfying. 7 out of 10. Well, that's a quick one. Okay, well, let's go into the spoiler section if you'd like to stick around for that. If not, thank you so very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Hey guys, welcome to the spoiler section. So, 4 terrorists break into a London fucking thing, and it's the same London hotel that his wife was staying at. She offered him to go. He said no. He never goes, and that could have prevented her death, so he has a lot of guilt for that. She actually saves somebody else, puts herself in that person's place, and she gets and is she in the film? Is she not really dead? Does she come back at the end? No. She gets popped in the back of the head, street, execution style, because the police had blocked off their exit. They wanted to show the police they're serious. We're going to kill even more hostages if you don't get out of our way. So the police get out of their way, and it devastates our main character. And the way he learns about it is tension-filled. It's a tragic, and I think you feel it with him. They do a great job in executing that. And so when he wants his revenge, you want the revenge as well. How does he do it?
Well, I mean, he gets.
How does he get them on board?
He doesn't get them on board. They're not supportive of this at all. He tells them, he's like, I know who killed him, and they're like, yeah, we know. But then he's like, hey, this informant told me that you guys are doing all these black ops things that are just straight up fucking illegal. They're
using drone strikes, even on allies, to piss allies off.
They're false flagging, killing allied troops.
They invest more troops into
stuff
the war.
like that. And so it's bad. And he's like, look, I don't want anything from you other than a gun, some cash, and some training. I want to kill these people myself.
Yeah.
And then
I'm going to release all this information. You motherfucking threatening the Black Ops CIA. And I was like, ooh.
Yeah, he says he's got a dead man switch and all this other stuff. But he's also like he set up their security and surveillance system. So like
he's the creator of a lot of these
He's
things.
Dangerous. And so they're like, fine, he'll probably die in the field, whatever. Well, they let him go.
We'll humor him, and maybe he'll have an accident.
A training accident. And then the second he goes for training, they immediately start tearing his house down, looking for this dead man switch and stuff. So like they try to set all this stuff up.
Yep.
They find a CD. And the film does a good job of setting it up. He's wallowing. He's in a bar, and he looks at he's got the information. He did the cool little scene where he's extraditing the information from the CIA, making sure that all the cameras don't see him do it, and he's nervous, and he gets out of there. Makes it look like he's going to go and put the information in a safe spot at this jukebox. But it turns out once they get to the jukebox themselves and they pull the CD, they're like, oh, we got him. And they didn't get him. He's tricking them. So he's always kind of one step ahead. He's got a really high IQ and a smart guy, and we love it. So let's go to the...
Also, like his friend, too, he sees his... I forget what his name was. He sees him do some shady stuff. They kind of question him, but really goes nowhere.
Yeah. His friend, I forget his name.
Yeah, it kind of sits across from him.
I thought that I feel, Joe, you're so right. I think his part got cut.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Because he looks over,
and then you think his friend is going to cover for him or help him or rat on him, and then it just forgets about that character the whole time.
Yeah,
the only thing that
Carlos.
character does, Carlos, is help him when the media is already at his house. He says, "Oh, I'll take care of it." That he doesn't even really.
No, he
take
doesn't
care
do
of it.
anything. This is like, I think it was
Carlos
cut or
was
something.
pointless. That was the guy from Severance.
No.
It was a
Different guy.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's from a book, so they probably filmed a ton of stuff.
They
and
probably
then,
cut
and
a
then
bunch.
had to cut a ton.
Okay, so now he goes on his training sequence. This Lawrence Fishburne. I love it. Nice. He sucks at shooting. He can't shoot.
But he can make
gets
a buck.
closer and closer, and then he's at point blank range. He gets some nice hits.
I thought
he's
that
like,
was
I
gonna,
just got to
I thought
get that
was
close.
going to be the payoff.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be sweet. It's like boom, boom, right? Fuck it. You can sneak up on set, especially if you're a nerdy guy and you don't think there's a special forces guy coming at you. You can surprise somebody. But yeah, no, they don't do that.
I was surprised he didn't, because like he's like, I just got to get that close, which at the end he did. And he finally got to. We're in spoilers.
Yeah, but I want to. Are you going to go to the last one already and spoil it? The last kill? Were you?
But yeah.
Go ahead. If you want.
But did you want to do an order? It doesn't matter to me now.
It doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Yeah. So whenever he was doing in training, he's like, I just got to get that close. He got him that close. At the end. I thought it was going to be a final payoff.
Right.
That's the one who killed his wife.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one who killed his wife. That's who he wanted vengeance.
What happened?
He just says, I was just buying some time. We're in a danger water. I already called
International waters.
Yeah, I called the Finland Army or the Coast Guard. They're here to pick you up. Done.
Well, he does get to the point where he sees the guy's expression change. Now, the way this is directed and filmed and acted, it didn't have the impact.
No.
And the story's telling us, aha, we got you. You thought I was going to kill you. But I was like, I don't think the guy thought he was scared for his life at any point.
And I despise the premise, because you have this guy who's like an international terrorist, the safest person on earth. He lives on a boat. He won't look into cameras. He wears a mask everywhere.
He's not gonna
he hands him a loaded weapon and says, "You're not a killer. You're not going to kill me." It's like, I get it. It just doesn't make any sense.
That'd have been so cool if he shot him right there, like instantly.
Yes, or something. But like again, like a lot of this shit just happened. I'm like, no, I don't. And it really took me out, especially towards the end.
Well, this is the final kill. And then after he does that and he lets him go and the guys don't shoot him, I thought they would maybe shoot him.
They would
have.
In any situation,
but they're gonna
those
go to
gangsters,
jail, so they're like, I guess I don't want to go to jail for the rest of my life, or I don't want these Navy SEALs to shoot at me because I'm shooting. Because they're literally already there. Almost in an instant. Unrealistically that fast on the boat, and like, don't kill Malik yet, or whatever his name is, Remy, and then he exits. But here's the thing: the fucking Danish special forces are screaming and yelling at the terrorists, but they're not even acknowledging our agent, the nerdy guy, and they just let him go by. Yes, he's the one that called them, and he's like, I am Charlie, but no, man, if you know special forces, you know SWAT, they don't fucking care who you are. I'm gonna secure every goddamn person in here, but they just let him walk around like they know him and they've been buddies and shit. I'm like, nah, man, they'd arrest his ass too.
Yeah, I had less problems with any of this. I mean, him handing him the bad guy handing the good guy a gun is stupid, especially the bad guy knows he's killed 3 other people.
See, I actually don't have a problem with that, because bad guys do stupid shit like that all the time. I just had a problem with the way they paid it off, where it didn't look like he was scared.
No,
He's
he
like,
wasn't.
now that I saw the same look in your eyes that I saw in my wife's eyes before you murdered her, that's all I wanted. I'm like, nah, man.
I didn't
shoot
see
his
it.
ass.
Well, he set
I
up,
didn't see it either.
He set up this whole thing, and like the whole thing is he was setting up a really cool, like, he finally gets to tear down this entire international organization.
Yes.
So not killing this guy is important, because it brings down both corrupt CIA guys, it brings down the whole terrorist cell. Everything is.
You're right,
So it's like,
Alex.
it's really important. The problem is we don't
Ah.
see him, or we don't know that he set any of this shit up. He just said, I did this thing. It's like,
maybe it would have been better if they cut to show he was setting stuff
it's
up.
like,
Would you like that?
it's like the worst fucking murder mystery books where they're like, aha, it was the butler's daughter. It's like, we don't know who that character is, asshole. Agatha Christie, you stupid old bitch. We don't know who that character is. You can't introduce her at the end and then make them the killer. We had no clues. The whole point of a thriller is for us to be
That's the
thrilled.
whole point, Alex.
Yeah, no. So
Yeah, well, you guys have
wait a
different
minute.
problems.
No, he's right. I'm trying to remember, Joe. There's no setup for it. at least before the third kill, he was doing something
doing
and you
cool
didn't know
stuff.
what he was doing. But for this fourth and final one, he was kind of acting stupid. And I was like, oh, he's doing this on purpose so that
Yeah.
he'd get knocked in the back of the head so that they'd take him to where they want him to go. But I guess
why
they
was it-
implied that once he figured out, I guess the only implication, Alex, was once he figured out what boat they were on, what boat the raft was attached to, that off screen he rigged it to move the rudder,
autopilot, and do all these things, and like he said, his watch
but
to
there
be the
needs to be one or
transmitter.
two
Like
scenes of a transmitter on
that's
the
what I
fucking
wanted
boat.
sprinkled in the movie,
And
and
it
that would have
didn't
been
happen.
way better for me. At least.
we got him in
I
every
got
single
you.
kill except for that one, because every single other one he set up except for the
Kind-
climax.
You're right, Joe. I like that.
Kind of, but yeah.
It is a bit of a letdown. Okay, so that was the final kill, but let's rewind.
Well, it's not a kill because no one dies.
Exactly.
Okay, that's the final revenge.
Yeah, there's 4.
Go to the first revenge.
First revenge, the dude has no idea what he's doing, and then he sneaks into this woman's apartment, he finds a pistol, and they get home early, and he doesn't have it in him to shoot her. He can't. He's a coward
He
or...
uses YouTube to break a lock.
Yeah. But then he finds out that she's got allergies, and she's got an allergy appointment. And this would absolutely kill Joe, because that
Joe is
spice...
like, "Tucker's an asshole."
I hate it. It's like,
Puts a bunch of pollen in there.
yeah, she's stuck in this little cube or whatnot.
She's on the bike breathing, and they're measuring the lung capacity.
He has a bag. He's like, this is pollen. Oh, you dick. Oh, my hives.
Would it have killed her?
If she's
If
like,
she kept
if she's
going?
like super allergic,
Super
yeah.
allergic,
All
but
right.
it would have
But
ruined her fucking
he
day.
fucks up. He feels sorry a little bit, and he presses the button and
She
lets
acts,
her out.
she acts weak, and she's like, "I'll tell you," and then so he opens up because he's trying to get information, and then she just tackles his ass
his
because
ass
like
and
she's a
throws him
terrorist.
around.
Yeah, she's a terrorist, and he sucks, and then so she just like beats him up and runs away.
And the only reason why he gets away with this is because a random car drives across the street and fucking Joe blacks her through the air,
Yeah.
and she dies. And he, is shocked, and he runs away. Everybody sees his ass. I guess they're going to call the police, but they don't get it there in time. And he throws up. He goes back to his hotel room. And I like it still. You're really going through it with him.
Yes, I like it, and I give the movie credit because he took her phone. I was like, well, you idiot. They're going to catch you with like that.
Right.
That's how they trace him. I was like, okay.
Lawrence
And he's
Fishburne.
like, because
I'll
later
give you
on,
that.
Lawrence Fishburne's on his ass in a club, a random fucking club, and then he manages to escape from Lawrence Fishburne in this club, goes to a different bar, and there's no way he's found him, but he found him. And then when he explains, he sits him down. He's like, "There's no way out.
I'm
Can't get out
gonna
through the
kill
bathroom.
you."
I'm
Yeah.
gonna kill you." He sits down next to him, and he's like, "It's the phone." And he's like, "Oh."
So, yeah, you panic. There
Yeah.
you go. You're...
But there's one more surprise. It turns out that he set up a
I
bomb in the
started laughing
bathroom.
again.
Why?
Because he's like, I just set up a bomb. It's like, you know how, like, somebody would have been in that toilet. Somebody would have been in there.
He killed some random guy.
It's a bar
Yeah.
with one toilet. It's going to be used.
Yeah.
He's like, I set up a bomb. And he goes off.
He
and
kills an
probably killed
innocent
another
person.
He
Yeah.
probably killed another person in there.
He does
There were
actually
probably
kill.
people under the pool too.
So he does actually kill an innocent
Kills a
person
lot.
in the film. It's this handler, not a handler, this shadowy person that gives him the information that the CIA has been doing jacked up shit. Turns out she was a Russian asset. Her husband, a 50-year-old guy, had died a long time ago, and she had basically taken over his job, and she's like a rogue asset. And they eventually figure out she's helping him. They set it up. They send the Russians after them, and the Russians don't give a fuck. They just start blasting as soon, and she ends up dying.
But he doesn't kill her.
No, he doesn't kill her, but he gets her killed.
Yeah.
If she never got her involved, she'd still be alive.
Yeah.
She'd probably be jumping from place to place. She moved every month. She moved to some nice places. She knows where to go, because even though the house looked run down, it's right there on the beach. And she got some birds, and she says, "This is the best alarm system."
Which it was.
Which it was, I guess. But anyways, so that's the first kill, and then the second kill is the pool that you saw in the trailer. Pretty much the same way. He just uses. He
decompresses the gas between the panes of glass.
I wanted to see him
Yeah.
do some more stuff.
Pour some PSI in there, cracks
You
it.
see him go to some scuba diving thing, pick up some equipment, then that's all you see.
Steals his equipment.
Well,
right.
But I wanted him to kind of like start.
This ain't MacGuber.
He did.
I wanted-
but he did. did. Like, I mean,
that one he did.
He did, because he goes to the scuba diving thing. He buys a bunch of things.
And
he goes.
See him.
He goes to the control room. He's plugging in the gas.
This is what me and Alex wanted for the other ones.
For the other ones, yeah, because there's like, hey, the reason that this thing doesn't fall. He's even watching a video where it's talking about like the gas in there, and then he goes to the gas panel and he's like, he plugs the sabotage thing into the gas panel. So it's like that one.
So
he did
this motherfucker he kills. It's a satisfying one. He falls through. You see it, and you see all this glass fall. And
there were
like
kids.
We said,
there were kids.
He
definitely.
murdered a bunch of people down.
Yeah.
No, it was clean, but it wouldn't have been clean. It's a hotel. It's popular. You're gonna sit under it. There's gonna be people there, but for some reason there weren't.
It was cool.
It was cool. And then the third one, little disappointing because it's
they set up
just
a buy.
as his helper lady dies. She had previously sent one of the guys a message to lure him out. I got some missiles. You want some missiles? He's like, I want the missiles. And so he gets that message after she's dead, and then he goes and sets it up where the missile box that he opens is a booby trap.
It wasn't. It was set up so poorly, and I think so much was cut out because he gets to Romania, and in the very next scene, he's in this garage, and there's already boxes, fake missile boxes in there. It's like, where the fuck
Where'd
this
you
guy?
get the fake missile
like
boxes?
you're in the middle of the
That's
building.
a run.
That's how I feel too, because again, I feel like it was cut out. I was thinking, go ahead.
Yeah, but so it's like he gets
right
there
now,
and he
though.
set up this whole bomb thing, and it's like I think it's clever what he set up. The problem is we don't see any of the set. Like I need more. I need less on some of the other shit that they have thrown in there.
What'd you remember, Joe?
Yeah, I remembered. I feel like it was cut out because they were saying this guy's a recluse. He never comes out. First text message, hey, you want to buy these things?
Yeah,
I'll be there. What?
Not like a vetting process where
No,
it's like, okay,
yes.
this and this. Okay, I'll send a guy to pick it up.
He's a recluse and never goes anywhere. We're like, I got free Warhammer minis. He's like, I'll be there right now. Go, let's go. Yeah. So
But no, it's different.
It is very different.
I feel you
got
on
free
that one, though.
illegal Warhammer minis.
Yeah.
No, but
a head of
he
street
shouldn't
date.
have showed up in
Yeah, if
place.
you're
but whatever.
that paranoid, like she said, you would have sent other people to kind of case it out and then kind of feel that maybe track them or something.
And then this guy is
cut,
so
yeah.
scared, he basically gives them everything he wants. He doesn't even use any smarts to be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to give you this much. Okay, now come and, disable this. I'll tell you the rest. Doesn't even do that. Just tells him everything possible, fucking himself over. And he's like, maybe if you run really fast, you'll still live.
No, it was a big.
And then I think the thing actually explodes before he even runs off. And
then the van
it
fucking exploded.
It surprises
The
him.
van had to explode because there was two.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, didn't make it.
Yeah. So a little shaky on that one. That one was less good, but still somewhat interesting. Better than your average, kind of thing. But because the movie has been going well, you want it to do above average. You want to see some things that you really haven't seen before and have that heightened there. That one wasn't there. That's when it started to be a little bit there. Yeah. Now he goes for the final guy. He's staking out the final guy. And as they're in Russia or in this region somewhere near Russia, on this dock, he's running from one guy or just trying to be conspicuous. And boom, all of a sudden, there's John Bernthal,
What's his character's name? Doesn't even
buddy.
say.
It's the bear. His name's
the bear from the first one. And I didn't understand this scene.
So
Jackson O'Brien.
So he said, look, I was going through the things and I saw your face as like a potential target in the region. Oh, okay. And so he actually truly wasn't there to kill him. He's like, I'm not sent by the CIA to kill you.
Right, so what you're saying is this guy is a hitman, or he takes care of the things that people want dead.
Yeah.
So he saw it. And the CIA doesn't monitor where he go, or like they let him have free reign.
Yeah.
So they didn't know he was doing that.
Yeah, they didn't know. Like, according to what he said, he's like, I didn't know. And he's like, look, these people are probably going to kill you. Keep your head on a swivel. Maybe I'll be called to murder you later, but I'm not here for that now. And then he takes off, and he doesn't never.
That's it.
And we never see him again.
So we only see him twice.
I thought he was going to show up at the end, like something was going to happen. But
the lunch thing, and this. That's it.
That sucked.
Yeah.
Because, you don't get a good actor like that and one that comes with baggage and good action chops.
You pay me
and then do nothing.
Couple mil?
Yeah, he showed up for
10
2
minutes?
days.
10 minutes?
For 2 days.
there was probably a bunch more scenes that are gone.
Yeah.
Unless in the book it just didn't happen that way, and they just hired an actor that we expected more from, but it didn't happen. So we were disappointed a little by that. Instead, he acts somewhat dumb, but he's doing it on purpose so that he can get knocked out, and he's being careless. They capture him, put him on the boat. Turns out that he had done the research. He already figured out what boat it was and sabotaged the boat up prior to even getting on it, which I don't know if I believe, because there's going to be motherfuckers guarding the boat at all times, but whatever, we don't ever get to see it, so we can't complain about it. And then once he's on that boat, we get what Joe explained earlier, where we were hoping for more of an impact there.
Yeah.
Then the film ends, and in a voiceover, as the new... By the way, the subplot was these dirty CIA black ops guys that are doing jacked up things.
Yep.
They're doing it for the good of the country. A new CIA director comes in. Just by happenstance, she's a good guy. Would have sucked if she's a bad guy. And she's like, more transparency for the CIA. We're going to start doing things much better. And she butts heads with him at times. And he takes her out to dinner one time, or she asks him to come out. And he's like, your predecessor and the predecessor before you have had the same conversation. I'm going to do what I do, and you.
It's like,
He lies to her. He says, I support you.
I support you.
And then she's like, oh, great. And then he's just lying because they immediately find out that he's got
Yeah,
But
as she
it
gets into the
doesn't
car.
work to me, because it's like she could fire him at any time. So it seems like he has all the power, and he's just so rooted that he'll never leave. And you're just a dime a dozen. You're going to come through, and I'm the real power. I'm like, no, none of that. No. It doesn't work that way. If she doesn't want you on the force, she could fire you if she wanted. She's the director of the CIA.
That's why I want 6 episodes. Like this, I think that
Now, if he had dirt on her or something, fine. Yeah. But no. So eventually at the end, she makes the announcement that this motherfucker here has been doing
Rogue
black ops bullshit, and no more of that. He's under arrest, which, by the way, the U.S. government would never fucking do this. Like, even if they're like, shit, you're right, we did catch this guy red-handed in the CIA doing jacked up shit, killing our allies, so that they can invest themselves
He resigned.
more. They wouldn't have a motherfucking public press conference about it.
They don't
so that
announce what he did,
everybody can reference it every single time.
He
It would be
just
this
resigned.
moment in time,
Yeah.
and they would never do it. So I'm telling you, all that shit has probably happened, but the government ain't saying shit about it. So that's it. And then it ends. Oh, in the voiceover, she says, and the current agent who was out there is still with the agency, and it's referring to our guy. But it's like, damn, man, he murdered people. So you sanctioned his murder. You sanctioned the murder and all of his breaking of the laws and all that
she
stuff.
doesn't know that he murdered any of these people. First of
Who
all,
does he think? She thinks that it was the
lady got hit by a car.
She thinks it's the black ops. people.
Lady got hit by a car. Not his fault. Not at all his fault. Second dude,
His fault.
gravity killed him. All
Not
right?
his fault
It was
at
not
all.
his fault.
Not
He
his
didn't
fault.
invent gravity. Isaac Newton invented gravity.
Right.
The boss
They
man,
don't know that he sabotaged.
Yeah,
No,
the
no.
boss explained it perfectly. He's like, well, technically, you didn't really kill him.
anybody.
You just have enough.
Yeah.
So
True,
I thought,
so I
that's
guess
why
he
I
can-
thought where
All
this
right,
one was
cool.
going to kind of
He
change.
can operate in that.
Or I was already thinking like Alex. It's like, look, he doesn't need his legs. Shoot his legs and then pretend like you're going to do it. Then you can see his face change
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
And then,
No, well,
Or
if
he set up the gun too, and the
Something.
gun fucking clicks, and even the click makes him go, ah! But he's like,
Yeah,
I prepared the gun
he has
ahead
two
of
dudes
time.
pointing the guns at him. He can't shoot him to wound.
Right, but they didn't
yeah.
need to put the two
They
dudes.
didn't-
They
I know.
could re-block
I hate that
the
whole scene. I hate that whole scene.
Me too.
I'm in it.
I'm
Let's
just trying
redo that
to-
whole scene. I'm with you.
I agree.
See, we're so passionate about it because this is a good film.
And that's the
it could be even
motherfucker
better.
that
Yeah.
killed his wife.
Yeah.
Not the other people
we
that he
needed
killed.
Something.
Yeah, I mean, this
Killed.
guy is also.
I don't think there's going to be a sequel. I think The Accountant is a better film like this. Watch The Accountant. In fact, The Accountant 2 is coming soon,
Yeah.
towards the end of the month, I think.
I don't know how they're gonna do the account too.
And that actually has John
Bernthal in
Bernthal,
it,
so you
yeah.
will get the payoff of
This
him
one has a
doing spy
pencil
shit.
pusher.
So probably watch that one if you weren't satisfied, or if you were satisfied by
it's a
this.
slower burn thriller. This is not an action movie.
No.
So don't expect an action movie.
That's it, I think.
Trying to
Yeah.
think of anything else.
Yeah, it's just
Nope. Just great mention
no,
of
I mean,
ABBA,
the
right?
the plot.
Abba's there.
The pacing needs work a little
Yeah.
bit. I think some of the pacing didn't work, spinning its wheels sometimes, but when it did, it did. We just wanted some of the kills to hit harder. All right. Well,
Yep.
that's it. Go check that one out at the theaters. And thank you so much for watching. And this is going to be it. And we'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe show. Bye, guys.